it was only a week ago that we were together at the chapel, and thinking that maybe this time, next week, we wouldn't be gathered here like this, and that we'd better get our dancing and our loving and our praying done as loudly and fabulously and sacredly as possible while we still can, and at least a 1 metre distance from each other. Well, this week, what we thought might happen has happened. We are now much more than 1 metre away from each other, but our hearts are so connected. This also extends to anyone listening to this, regardless of your physical presence at the chapel last week or in the last year or 10 years. At the Friday service, there was a prayer by Maureen Killoran called Prayer in a Time of Awe. It is certainly that. I am in awe at the simple change in perspective something like this can bring to our lives. We'll all be feeling different in many ways, and I honour that and I hold that with you. She says, be with us. Deepen our willingness to live without certainty. Yes, I need that from God and from you, and we can give that to each other. Bridport has characteristically pulled out all the stops this week with our community spirit, and have you noticed? It all came to a dramatic head for me on Friday night, when after only a few hours of putting out a call for people to light candles in their windows at sunset, the most beautiful thing happened. Soulshine put out about 20 supervised candles in their front window in South Street after dark, and messages of hope in their windows. The video that Angie made showed this, and the surrounding windows of homes with their curtains open and candles shining brightly. A message of hope and community when we need it the most. This is probably just the start, and I hope it will become a tradition. A safe, supervised tradition using battery candles. And all across the world, we have been seeing people sharing the best of humanity. Singing from the quarantined balconies in Italy, for example, was really extremely moving. And earlier this week in London, before the schools closed, a school put up a huge sign saying, "Watch this space at 2 p.m, which could be read by the residential home for the elderly over the road. The home had been in isolation for a few days already, and at 2 p.m, the residents went to their windows and saw the whole primary school in the playing ground singing to them. They sang Something Inside So Strong by Levi Seifert. You have something very strong inside of you. We each do, and we may need it. I want to remind you what I said last week, in case you were having a little snooze when I spoke. It is possible that the next Buddha will not take the form of an individual. The next Buddha may take the form of a community practicing mindful living. This may be the most important thing we can do for the survival of the earth. That was written by Thich Nhat Hanh. We are choosing to be a covenanting, spiritual community. It says that we are founded on the principle of love, selfless service and friendship, and we have a real chance to rise to the challenge, keeping it aflame with our connection and kindness. Our connectedness is sacred to us, and we can keep this at the centre of our thoughts going into the next few months. Please be in touch, is what I'm trying to say. Don't feel alone. The love we have in this community isn't just for Sundays, or when you can physically be in our beautiful chapel. It is present everywhere that you are. I would like to close with the poem written just last week by an American Unitarian minister, Lynn Ungar. It's called Pandemic. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel, cease from buying and selling, give up just for now, on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing, pray, touch only those to whom you commit your life. Centre down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny it now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has become clear. Do not reach out your hands. Reach out your heart. Reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better, for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live. I'll see you all soon.